Dude, this US aid thing is so much worse than people realize. Do y'all remember when people were angry at Elon Musk for buying Twitter for $40 billion? Because he could have solved world hunger with that money. Okay? Keep that same energy. Okay? We were supposed to have sent like somewhere around $200 billion to Ukraine. Remember all those little packages? Well, even Zelensky says that only about half of it even got there. So there's $100 billion that's just floating around.
Yes, before we go into this full video, there is something. I don't know if you've seen this. Richard Gere, this Hollywood actor, called Trump and Musk a danger to this planet. The fact that these irresponsible and perhaps dangerously corrosive billionaires are running everything in America right now is a danger for everyone on this planet. You might be wondering where he said this. According to an article, Richard Gere slammed Donald Trump as a bully and dog at Spanish Oscars. At the premiere Goya, Richard Gere received an award and used his speech to deliver a brutal take on Trump.
This US aid thing is so much worse than people realize. Keep that same energy, okay? We were supposed to have sent like somewhere around $200 billion to Ukraine. Remember all those little packages? Well, even Zelensky says that only about half of it even got there. So there's $100 billion that's just floating around somewhere. That could have solved world hunger. But your government was so inefficient and so corrupt, and you don't even care about it? In fact, you're more mad that we stopped US aid for a minute and paused it so we can figure out what the flip all of our money's going to, bro? This is not a normal response. Your reaction is being manipulated by the media. It has to be, because you would be mad under any other circumstances. Imagine your dad left you a business that used to make you $100 a month, and now that business is losing you like $10,000 a month. You would go in and go, what's going on? And it's like, pretend it's a mattress company. And you look at the expenditures and you're like, well, these aren't springs and cotton and mattress sheets and things like that. No, we're buying cement in Dubai for 10 times the price that anybody else ever paid. What's going on? And then one of the managers comes up to you and goes, hey, you're not supposed to have access to this warehouse. What are you even doing in here? You would be like, I'm getting scammed so hard, pause everything. Everybody's going to jail, bro. Meanwhile, Maui, North Carolina, and California are all burning down, and we never seem to have enough money for that. Hell, Flint, Michigan's water costs like $1.5 billion, and it would be fixed, bro. We give Ethiopia more than that every year. Then you start looking at all the politicians that have been connected to this thing, and you wonder, why are these guys yelling so much? And you look into how they're receiving their revenue. Oh, it goes out in USA, it does a little cool loop-de-loop dance, and then comes back to their families. Oh, well, Ross, if it was this bad, the news would have told us about it. Nope, because the other thing USAID is funding is all of the freaking media, bro. They are deciding what you guys think, which is why all of them have made you all think that we're the bad guys this whole time. They knew that if we won, we would see this and cut off their funding. There's a movie called The Truman Show with Jim Carrey where basically everything around him is like a controlled environment and things like that. If you found out that all of the same opinions that you've had from the media for the last 10 years were funded and created for you to have those opinions, wouldn't you pump the brakes a little bit and start thinking maybe the right-wingers aren't so bad? We voted for this so we can see all the leeches that are sucking the money out of all of our company, bro. Join the team.
Yes, do you know the best thing? As the media continue to freak out with Democrat, CBS, President Trump is more popular than he has ever been. Why? Because he is making good on his promises. Promises made, promises kept is not only the morally right thing to do, it is good politics. They are acknowledging this today that, oh, Trump approval rating skyrocketed to almost 60. That is to tell you, this is what he said. I would do this, I would do that, and the people voted him for that. Don't expect him to change because Democrats want to show that they can demonstrate, break into offices. They don't want accountability. Reasons. You see this freak out. Going back into this crazy Hollywood actor, what he actually said about Trump is extremely disturbing. Let me play this video so you can see exactly.
And I'm in shock. My wife is in shock. We're all in shock. You know, the people spoke and they elected this president, and that's a fact. But I don't even think the people who elected him really believed that he was going to do what he said he was going to do. And what he's doing is much worse than what he even said. The dark profundity of what he's been doing in the last week is mind-boggling. That he would be shutting down PEPFAR, which has been doing extraordinary work, especially on HIV/AIDS in Africa, saved tens of millions of lives. This is dark time in the U.S., and I think it's a time for everyone to stand up. I was reading an article by someone, a Hungarian, who watched things change so radically under Orban, and he said, America better be vigilant, because we didn't know how fast this would happen in Hungary. And I can see this happening very quickly now. We have this incredibly dark marriage of power and money like we've never seen before. So the fact that these irresponsible and perhaps dangerously corrosive billionaires are running everything in America right now is a danger for everyone on this planet.
I'm coming from a place now that we're in a very dark place in America, where we have a bully and a thug who's the President of the United States. It's not just in the U.S., it's everywhere. Everywhere.
To be doing. Like, there is a lot of waste, fraud, and abuse within a system.
Audits and waste, fraud, and abuse are not the same thing. So let's decompose these pieces.
Then please educate me on
Sure.
What
so an audit
the
is exactly what you just described,
yes.
which is, do I know what was delivered to which place?
Right.
The ability to pass an audit, or the fact that the DOD has not passed an audit, is not suggestive of waste, fraud, and abuse. That is completely false right there. So
what is
now it's a question of, it's suggestive that we don't have an accurate inventory that we can pull up of what we have where. That is not the same as saying we can't do that because waste, fraud, and abuse has occurred.
So in my world,
yeah,
that's waste.
How is that waste?
If I give you $1 billion and you can't tell me what happened to it, that to me is wasteful. That means you are not responsible. But if you can't tell me where it went, then what am I supposed to think? And when there has been reporting, I mean, this is not, look, I'm not saying this is on you and that you caused this, but I think it's a tough argument to
I'm pretty
make
sure
that
I didn't cause it.
an $850 billion budget to an organization that can't pass an audit and tell you where that money went. Like, I think most people would consider that somewhere in the realm of waste, fraud.
Yes, I believe you've seen the Hollywood actor. He made his point, Trump and Elon Musk being dangerous to the whole world. And he went further to say what is happening in the United States, it's everywhere. Dictators are taking over government. At a certain point, when I try to reason this, it is crazy. I don't know how he sees it. What Trump is doing is what he promised. And loving his countries is not a problem. That's actually taught a lot of world leaders to stand up and defend their own countries. Some countries used to depend on United States. But Trump coming in is a lesson to some of these people. And going back into the meltdown about this issue of aid, because his main focus was about what Elon Musk is doing right now. The clip is long. I'm afraid of these copy issues reason. I don't want to play it, or it is insane. Struggling to cut waste so you can easily audit is something very important. Like you have seen Jon Stewart here pointing out that if I give you a certain amount of money, you cannot clearly tell me what you have done with that, then I can't really trust. That is waste. And this lady is still struggling to go against that. When I look at some Libras that are, though I don't agree with Jon Stewart on certain issues, but he makes sense here. And I appreciate that. I want to thank people that are following me. If you are a new subscriber to this channel, note this. The same videos I'm posting now, that is what I've been doing here for the past 3 years. So please share the videos if you see videos after this short videos, that is just for the algorithm. You can stop watching here. I'll be grateful. I'm saying this to people who usually complain, why is this guy putting short videos? after his clips, that is just for algorithm, because I understand how this platform works.
So generally the idea of we're going to go through an audit and we're going to cut waste, we're going to get rid of the fat, trim it, is something people support. There is such a lack of transparency around this.
They even say this. The Biden administration was there for 4 years. I didn't see them asking this question. Like, why is Biden administration not transparent to tell us what was happening?
A chance to see what happens when you take a business approach to the government in the White House. We're seeing right now with this whole U.S. aid thing, where they're uncovering massive amounts of corruption. And
their hard-earned money, and they want their tax dollars to look like it's helping the country.
And also, I got to say,
don't you agree?
I totally agree.
Essential.
Early on, immediately.
She's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10.
To her.
No, the EU does not treat the U.S. fairly on trade, and that he has some big complaints. Is that true?
Right? And it doesn't mean that we should sit and pretend that it's suddenly okay, that this new presidency is just going to keep on keeping on. That is not the case. And because, final point for me, 1.5 years is because...
This is the United States.
You're talking about a man who didn't become the president of the United States because of merit.
This lady is not unstopped.
Where awful things have happened. So,
and sparks move things. And it doesn't matter how much water you have.
Future president and his gag
are somebody in policy.
The city of the Pacific Palisades is burning. And, I flew here last night. I was on a plane.
You getting water to areas that need...
He's been trained his whole life to do.
What do we do?
Right now you're looking
History, remember it.
As a country about James.
Yeah,
and then I think all our tax dollars probably went for Gavin's hair gel. I don't know.
Jordan.
The 5 tenants of
Palisades Village right here. This is the town center of sorts.
And he did this little dance.
Josh Green, the governor of down in Hawaii.
And then we watch the news or talk.
Now look, I have a lot of... So please.
I was being lazy on the couch like Friday night. Any more you would criticize?
Party. The Democratic Party have lied to us about everything.
The next department that appears to be on the chopping block is the Department of Education. Just earlier today, Democratic members of Congress were blocked from entering the department's headquarters.
Can we talk about, and I'm sorry, I don't know how else to say this,